Good afternoon, everyone, and you're very welcome to this afternoon's class. My name is Patrick. So the theme of today's class, which is a Vinyasa flow class, is the throat chakra Vishuddhi. Most of you by now that regularly attend my class are familiar with the chakra system, which are energy centers along the spine from the root chakra to the crown chakra at the base of the head. The throat chakra is at the base of the throat, and it's the energetic center for our voice, how we speak our truth, how we communicate our needs. So when we communicate our needs in a kind way, when we speak truthfully, our throat chakra is balanced. The opposite is true. Obviously, if there's a blockage in this throat chakra, we can be uncommunicative with family and friends. Maybe things like gossiping, those kind of things can be indicative of issues with the throat chakra. Buddha said, before we speak to another being, we should pass it through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? And is it kind? So when we think in that way, sometimes we'll speak more slowly, but we speak with more assurance and clarity. So it's just something to concentrate and focus on during this afternoon's class. So the type of asanas that are normally associated with stimulating the throat chakra are when we engage Jalahara Bandha. That's gently flexing the neck forward. This is called the throat lock. It's associated with the throat chakra. I'd also encourage you throughout the practice to engage Ujjayi breath, because when you engage Ujjayi breath, which is where we're breathing through a restriction at the back of the throat, you can sense the sensations, the physical sensations in the back of the throat, which is bringing awareness again to the throat chakra. So we're going to start off the class with some pranayama. So I would encourage you, if it's in your practice, to try and engage Ujjayi breath. It's also good practice during the physical practice of yoga to cool down the body and slow down the breath. So as always at the start of class, I encourage you to come to the present moment. So regardless of what's happened in your day so far, try to become present. You're making time for yourself out of your busy day to come to the mat. So try to engage, try to be present for this hour. And as you know, the way we become present in yoga is by focusing on the breath and by focusing on physical sensations. So we see the asanas as like a moving meditation. We're focusing on the breath. We're just observing any physical sensations that we feel throughout the asanas. Yoga has nothing to do with achieving the perfect Instagram pose. That's not what yoga is. Yoga is to make us aware. So start by gently closing your eyes, starting to observe the breath, observing where you feel the breath, the sensation of the breath as it enters through the nose, the back of the throat. Feel the abdomen rising, the chest rising. And then as you exhale, feel the gentle fall of the abdomen, the chest sinking, and the breath exiting through the throat and the nose. Just carrying on like this for a few moments with your eyes closed, focusing on the inflow and outflow of the breath. Before we start our pranayama practice, we're just going to one Om just to open the class. So at the end of your next exhale, take a deep inhale. Om. You may have felt that Om vibration at the back of your throat. As you know, Om is the vibration of the universe. We're just going to start now, as usual in my practice, with some breath cultivation. I like to do this at the start of class just to focus on slowing down the breath, focusing on breath retention and breath suspension. We will start by doing some counting. I use the metronome just to help with counting, just to encourage you to become present, focusing on the sound of the metronome. So on your next exhale, if you hold your breath and breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold for 4. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale 4. And hold 4. Inhale 4. And hold 4. Exhale 4. And hold 4. Inhale 4. And hold 4. Exhale 4. And hold 4. Inhale 4. And hold 4. Exhale 6. And hold 4. Inhale 4. And hold 4. Exhale 6. And hold 4. Inhale 4. And hold 4. Exhale 6. And hold 4. Inhale 4. And hold 4. Exhale 8. And hold 4. Inhale 4. And hold 4. Exhale 8. And hold 4. Inhale 4. And hold 4. Exhale 8. And hold 4. Just returning now to your natural breathing rhythm. Like I say, just try to focus on Ujjayi and try and focus on keeping control of the breath during challenging asanas. Sometimes slowing down the breath, particularly focusing on long exhales, will help you in asanas such as balancing asanas, which we may do a little bit of later on, just to try and focus on that throughout the class. Just like to start with a little neck warm-up. So starting to make some neck rolls, make some circling movements with the neck. Stopping and rotating the head in the opposite direction. Making some yes, no movements. Dropping the chin to chest here to stimulate Vishuddhi. Come back to center, and this time dropping the left ear down to the shoulder, using the hand on top of the head just to deepen the stretch. Come back to center and changing sides. Observing if you feel any difference between right and left. And from here, coming to tabletop position. Starting to waken up the shoulders and wrists. Make some circling movements. Stopping and going in the opposite direction. Our normal wrist warm up, which I like to do at the start of class. Fingers facing forward. Just bringing the weight forward. Bring some extension into wrists. Should feel a deep stretch here in the wrist, but should feel no pain. Stopping, and this time pointing the fingers right and left and rocking from side to side. And finally, pointing the fingers back towards the knees. Come back to center. I think everyone has 2 blocks. So we're going to just do some cat-cows, just using the blocks, see if we can feel any different sensations. So placing your hands on the blocks, just making some gentle cat-cow movements. So an inhale, lifting the tailbone high, gaze up, arching the spine. And an exhale, chin to chest, tuck the tailbones under. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, chin to chest. Just doing 2 more of those. Focusing on the breath, any sensations that you feel. I'm going to move leaving our knees in the same position, moving our blocks over to the side, and again, making some gentle cat-cow movements. You may feel some different sensations on the left side, down the transverse abdominals. Swapping sides, moving the blocks over to the left. And again, using the breath, making some cat-cow movements. This time we're going to place our right hand on the block and placing the other block under our left leg. So these are called asymmetrical cat-cows. So it's again, just observing difference in sensations. Obviously feeling different sensations than if your hands and knees were both resting on the mat. And swapping sides, this time the left hand on the mat and the left and the right knee. And again, just making some cat-cow movements. Trying to keep the elbows extended, using the breath. leaving the blocks to one side and coming to cat-cow gait. So drawing the right foot out to the right side of the mat, level with the hip. And here, making some cat-cow movements. You may also feel this on the groin, the right leg. Coming back to tabletop, and this time drawing the left foot out to the left. And again, making some cat-cow movements. And coming back to tabletop. We're going to start now a little bit of core activation. So on inhale, draw the left leg back. The sole of the foot is pointing up towards the sky. We're going to pulse the leg here. So you're engaging the glutes and pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Swapping to the right side. Lifting the right leg. Sole of the foot pointing up towards the ceiling. And again, engaging the glutes, trying to keep the hips level, just pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And coming back to tabletop. Now we're coming to Superman. So an inhale, left leg straight back, and then engaging the right arm, stretching the right arm forward. Take a deep inhale, exhale, touching the elbow to the knee, extending out. Elbow to knee. Do 5 more of these. Focusing on the breath, trying to keep the hips level. Dropping the right hand. Drawing the left foot out to the edge of the mat and coming to gate pose. Pressing into the mat with your right hand, engaging Hasta Bandha, reaching the left arm skywards. With control, pressing into the mat, using your core to bring the arms up to a figure T. Arms are parallel to the mat. Dropping the hands down onto the mat. Come back to tabletop. Repeating that on the opposite side. This time engaging the right leg. Straight out, pointing over the back of your mat. Engage the left arm. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow. Just doing 5 more of those. Trying to keep the hips level. Core is engaged. Dropping the left hand onto the mat. Drawing the left foot over the side of the mat and coming to gate pose. Pressing the left hand, which is engaged, into the mat. Lifting the right arm skywards in line with the left. Drawing the shoulder blades together. Core is engaged, glutes are strong. With control, using the core and specifically the obliques, coming up to center. Then dropping the hands down onto the mat. Come back to tabletop. From tabletop, this time we're going to, again, lift This time the right leg high. Reach the left hand back. Holding on to the inside of the foot or ankle. And just opening your heart to the left. Dropping the knee. Repeating that on the opposite side. So this time engaging the left leg. Bringing up to reverse tabletop. Reaching back this time with the right hand, if it's in your practice, grabbing the inside of the ankle or foot and opening your heart to the right. And coming back to tabletop. From tabletop, going to come to plank pose. So stepping back with the right foot and the left. Legs are strong, core is engaged. Try to stop the hips sinking. Engaging Hasta Bandha, pressing into the hands, gripping the mat like claws. From plank pose, we're going to come to forearm plank, dropping forearms onto the mat. Dropping your knees, this is challenging. You can also interlock your fingers. From here, coming to dolphin pose. So walking your feet forwards. Pressing into the elbows, shoulders are strong. Engage the core, lift the left leg high. Dropping the left foot onto the mat. Again, exhale, engaging the core, lifting the right leg high. And dropping the right hand onto the mat, dropping the knees, taking a child's pose. So again, focusing on child's pose, on pressing the chin to the chest, stimulating the throat chakra. From here, coming back up to tabletop. This time, lifting up into our first downward facing dog. So in down dog, again, engaging Hasta Bandha, pressing into both hands, drawing fingers back towards the heels. Hands are strong, shoulders are engaged. There's external rotation in the arms. Again, using the image I like to use of drawing a soft ball between your elbows. Pressing into both feet. More important to keep a straight spine. So the hips are high. So don't worry about a slight bend in the knees. You can mindfully start to pedal out the knees. Doing it with the breath. And coming to your best downward facing dog of the afternoon. Weight equally into both hands and feet. Gently starting to straighten the legs, engaging the quads. Getting the heels a millimeter closer to the mat. Focusing on the breath. And from here, starting to walk your feet forward towards your wrists. Coming here to a forward fold. So grabbing opposite elbows. Slight bend in the knees is fine. Allowing the upper body to drape down over the thighs. You can start to straighten one leg at a time, stretching out the hamstrings. Rock the body from side to side. Placing the hands on the mat and ragdoll up to Tadasana. In Tadasana, encouraging you to focus on the breath and the physical sensations, starting at the feet, being aware of sensations in the feet, how your weight is distributed between the right and left feet, gently pressing into the four corners of the feet, lifting up the toes, pressing down the toes like you're gripping into the mat. Calves, hamstrings, quads are engaged, the glutes are engaged, core activation. The arms are hanging loosely from the shoulder girdle. The neck is straight, gaze straight ahead. Just closing your eyes here for one moment and just focusing on the sensations. Observing your body rooted strongly into the earth, reaching proudly towards the sky. To complete our warm-up, we're just going to come some salutations, some moon salutations, Chandra and Namaskar. So an inhale, reach up, fingers touching, gaze at the fingertips, slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Gaze forward, straight spine. Exhale, drop your hands. Step the right foot back, drop the right knee. Come into Anjayasana, a low lunge. The shoulder blades are drawn together here. There's a slight back bend. Here, come to cactus arms and open your heart. And exhale, dropping your chin towards your chest. Drop your hands. Stepping back to plank pose. Dropping the knees. Come into a half chaturanga. Come into cobra or up dog. And back up to downward facing dog. Again, in down dog, focusing on keeping the hips high. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Stack the hips, drawing the knee towards the sky, the right heel towards the glutes, squaring up the hips, stepping the right foot forward, stepping the left foot forward to meet the right, come into a half lift, forward fold, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, and Tadasana. Reach up, gaze up, exhale, forward fold, inhale, half lift, step the left foot back, drop the left knee, come into Anjayasana, gaze the fingertips, arms to cactus, open your heart, draw the shoulder blades together, exhale, chin to chest, drop your hands both sides of the right foot, stepping back to plank pose, drop the knees, come into your half chaturanga, cobra or up dog, and back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high, open the left hip, square up the hips, step the left foot forward inside your left hand, step the right foot forward, come to a half lift, forward fold, reach up, gaze up, come back to Tadasana. We repeat that sequence, this time stepping back to a high lunge. So inhale, reach up, gaze up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step the right foot back, come into a high lunge. In a high lunge, trying to keep the left elbow in the correct position, not allowing it to go forward of the ankle. From here, coming to cactus arms. Exhale, chin to chest, drop the hands, stepping back to plank pose. This time coming to half or full chaturanga. Back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high, stack the hips, weight pressed equally into both hands. Square up the hips. With control, stepping the right foot inside the right hand. Coming up to high lunge. Cactus arms, open your heart, shoulder blades drawn back. Exhale, chin to chest, drop your hands. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. And coming to Tadasana. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with the left foot this time, coming to high lunge. Cactus arms, open the heart. Exhale, dropping the hands, both sides the right foot. Stepping back to plank pose. Coming to half or full chaturanga. Keeping the elbows tucked in. Cobra or up dog. Back up to down dog. Lift the left leg high. Stacking the hips. Getting the left knee high. Square up the hips. Stepping the left foot inside the left hand. With control, stepping forward with the right foot to meet the left. Coming to half lift. Forward fold. Inhale, reach up, Urdhvasana. Exhale, Tadasana. So as most of you are familiar with this sequence, I'm just going to encourage you to do 2 repeat sequences of the moon salutations. So if it's familiar to you, you can do with your eyes closed. So starting in Tadasana in your own time, just repeating the sequence twice, and we will meet back in Tadasana. Trying to focus on the breath. Sometimes with the eyes closed, it's easier to focus on the physical sensations. Like I said at the start of class, using this as a moving meditation. Just observing if you feel any difference in sensations with the eyes closed. We become more inward focused. Meeting back in Tadasana. In Tadasana again, we're going to reach up, hands tall, gaze at the fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to downward facing dog. This time lifting the left leg high. Pressing, touching the left knee to the left elbow. Lifting the leg high. Knee to chest. Lift the leg high. Knee to right elbow. And this time kicking the right foot out. Dropping the right heel. And opening your heart. Shoulder blades are drawn together. Both arms are in the same line. Left arm is strong. From here, you can go back to downward facing dog, or if you want to flip your dog, drop your hand. Draw the left leg through, stepping behind the right. Opening your heart, gazing at the sky. From here, coming back
to downward facing dog. This time lifting the right leg high, engaging the core, touching the right knee to the right elbow, lifting the leg high, engage the core, knee to chest, knee to left elbow, stepping the right foot out to the left-hand side, dropping the left heel onto the mat, opening your heart, coming back to downward facing dog, or if you wish to flip your dog, drawing the right foot, standing on the toes on the right foot, opening your heart, facing towards the sky. Dropping the right hand onto the mat, coming back to downward facing dog, dropping the knees, and taking a child's pose. In child's pose, coming to, again, downward facing dog. This time, walking your hands forward. Turn to right hand side of the mat into Tadasana. Tadasana, reaching the arms towards the sky. You can engage Kali Mudra, fingers interlocked, index fingers pointing up. This time we're going to engage the core, make yourself tall, bend to the right. Come back to center, pushing this time the hips to the right, bending to the left. Should feel a deep stretch down the right side of the body. Come back to center. This time, back bend. Again, engaging the core, engaging the glutes to protect the lower spine, and bending back. Gaze at your fingertips, being careful with the neck. Come back to center. Arms out to a figure T. This time we're taking a big step to the right. We're coming to a Theta Trikonasana, triangle pose. So the right toes are pointing over the back of your mat. Both arms are engaged in line with the feet. Inhale, make yourself tall, drawing the abdominals, reaching out over the right hip. Dropping your hand onto a block, the ankle, or inside the foot. Drawing the shoulder blades together. Your arms are being pulled in opposite directions. Both hips are externally rotated. Coming back to center. This time coming to warrior two. Deep bend into the right leg. Again, making sure the knee doesn't go past the ankle. Both legs are strong. From here, we're going to reverse the warrior. So sliding our left hand down the left leg, keeping the knee in a flexed position, pointing our palms backwards, and gazing on our fingertips. Coming from here to extend a side angle, dropping our right elbow onto the right knee or a block. Focusing on the right knee, not allowing the right knee to move to left, using the elbow or arm to press into the knee. Drawing the arm forward, sweeping it back, and raising it up in line with the ear, gazing at the fingertips. feeling a deep energy from the tips of the left fingers to the left foot. From here, coming to pyramid pose, you can narrow your stance if that feels good. You can also move the left leg out to the left side of your mat to create more room for the hips. So with the hands on your hips, squaring your hips towards the top of the mat, more likely they're pointing at the left side at the back of your mat. Hands and hips. Either interlocking your fingers, or if it's in your practice, reverse prayer. Keeping both legs strong and engaged. Core activation, keeping the spine straight and folding forward. Lifting the arms high if you're going for a shoulder stretch. Trying to keep the core engagement, trying not to round forward. From here, preparing for half moon Ardha Chandrasana, I usually encourage students to experiment with using a block here. It's more beneficial to keep a straight spine. So narrowing your stance, stepping in with the left foot, bringing the weight into right foot, engaging Padabandha, pressing into the four corners of the feet, gripping the mat with your toes, dropping your right hand onto a block or onto the little toe side. Left leg is strong and engaged, lifting the left leg high. If it's in your practice, drawing your left hand up towards the sky. Focusing on the sensations in your feet, focusing on the breath. Stepping back with control to warrior two. From warrior two, we're going to come to Skandasana. So turning the left toes out 45 degrees. Bring the weight over to the left. Coming up onto the ball of the right foot. Hands in prayer and coming into a low squat position. Trying to keep a straight spine. It's a safer position to keep your left heel pressed into the mat. Dropping your hands onto the mat, that feels better. And then going in the opposite direction, so moving the right foot out 45 degrees, coming onto the ball of the left foot, and again coming into a low squat position. From here, both feet turned out, come into goddess pose. Knees and toes going in the same direction, drawing the shoulder blades together. Coming to star pose, both legs, both arms are straight. And stepping left foot forward to meet the right. Repeating that sequence to the left. So bringing the arms out to figure T, taking a big step to the left, pointing the left toes out over the front of the mat. Right foot can be turned in 45 degrees, come into Trikonasana, Utthita Trikonasana, triangle on this side. Both arms are strong, in line with the feet. Engaging the core, making space in the spine, reaching out over the left and dropping the hand onto a block, onto the big toe side or on the ankle. Drawing the right arm high, opening the heart, drawing the shoulder blades together. Both hips are externally rotated. Again, focusing on the deep line of energy from the left fingers to the right fingertips, observing any physical sensations. Come back to center. Deep bend into left knee this time, coming to warrior two. Again, focusing on the left knee, try and stop it moving inwards. Both arms are strong, stretching out in opposite directions. Come into reverse warrior. And from here, coming to extended side angle. Placing the left elbow this time on the left knee or in a block. Drawing the right arm forward. In line with the ear. Gazing, drishti is at the right fingertips. Again, focusing on the deep line of energy from the right fingertips to the foot. Come back to warrior two, preparing for pyramid pose. Narrowing your stance, that feels good. Squaring your hips to the top of the mat. Again, choosing either reverse prayer, interlock your fingers. Take a deep inhale, and then engage the abdominals and fold forward with a straight spine. Lifting the arms high, getting a deep stretch into the shoulders. Feeling a deep stretch here in the hamstrings on the left leg. Preparing now for half moon Ardha Shandasana, using your block that's in your practice. Bring the weight into the left foot, engaging Pada Bandha, pressing into the block or into the mat. Lifting the right leg high, externally rotating the right leg, right hip, pointing toes out to side. Similar practice. Lifting your right arm skywards. Stepping back, control to warrior two. Coming to goddess pose. Star pose. Stepping the right foot forward to meet the left. This time again, stepping the right foot to the right. And coming to warrior one. So the feet is toes pointing right over the back of the mat. Coming to warrior one. From warrior one, preparing for warrior three. This time in warrior three, we're going to place your hands in prayer. Come into a high lunge. Bring the weight into the right foot, engaging Pada Bandha. Lifting the left leg high, so glutes are strong, core is engaged. From here, lifting your left knee high and coming to eagle pose. Crossing the left knee over the right and eagle arms, right hand over the left this time. Don't worry if you lose your balance. Stepping back,
and come into goddess pose. Star pose. Stepping the left foot forward to meet the right, and coming to that sequence on the opposite side. So this time taking a big step with the left foot. Left foot is pointing over the top of the mat. Turning the right foot in 45 degrees. Coming to warrior one. From warrior one, coming to a high lunge. Preparing for warrior three. So placing your hands in prayer. Bring the weight, this time into the left foot. Lifting the right leg. Right leg is strong and engaged. Coming out of warrior three, coming to Garandasana. Lifting, this time the right leg high. Right leg over the left. This time the left arm over the right. No problem to drop the toes onto the mat if you're struggling with balance. From here, pressing, stepping back to a high lunge, unlocking the arms, placing the hands on the mat, stepping back to downward facing dog, and coming to a child's pose. From child's pose, coming to locust pose, so lying down onto the mat. Placing the hands directly under the shoulders, engaging the core, pressing the pubic bones into the mat, and lifting up. Lift the hands off the mat. If it feels comfortable, lifting the legs off the mat also. Trying to engage the core and lift slightly higher, drawing the shoulder blades together, coming down to the mat, making a pillow from your hands, taking 3 breaths here. From here, we're coming to Dhanurasana, bow pose. So we're bending both knees, reaching back, grabbing the ankle from the inside. Taking an inhale, engage the core, pressing the pubic bone into the mat, kicking back into our hands, drawing the shoulder blades back, gazing forward. Coming back to center, and again, making a pillow of your hands, taking 3 breaths here. Pressing our hands into the mat under our shoulders, coming up to tabletop, up to downward facing dog, stepping the feet into the middle of our mat, coming to yogi squat, using this to open the hips, with control, coming to Navasana, and from here, coming to Dandasana,
Dandasana, pressing your feet into imaginary wall, trying to keep a straight spine. If this is challenging with your hamstrings, you can place a block or a towel or a blanket under your sitting bones. From here, we're going to come to Janu Sirsasana. So we are going to bend your left leg, pressing the sole of the left foot into the right inner thigh. Engaging the core, keeping the spine straight, folding forward. In line with the inner seam of the right leg. From here, coming to Ardha Matsyendrasana. So stepping the left foot over the right thigh, pressing the left foot sole into the mat. It's in your practice, drawing the right heel back towards your glutes. Right hand behind the hip, pressing into the mat, hugging the knee with the left elbow or elbow in front of the knee and twisting to the right. Keeping the core strong, deepening the twist. From here, coming to Gomukhasana. So you can leave the foot in this position. If it's in your practice, drawing the right knee on top of the left. It's fine here to sit in a block. Or if you're comfortable, dropping your sitting bones onto the mat. And again, if it's in your practice, keeping the spine strong, activating the core, and folding forward. Safely exiting the asana and coming back to staff pose Dandasana. Repeating that mini sequence on the opposite side, this time drawing the right sole of the right foot, pressing into left inner thigh, engaging the core, keeping the spine straight if possible, and folding forward over the inner seam of the left leg. Coming to Ardha Matsyendrasana, stepping over the left thigh with the right foot, pressing the sole into the mat, drawing the left heel back towards the glutes. That's in your practice. This time, left hand behind the hips, fingers pointing back, grabbing the knee with the elbow, or pressing the right knee into the right elbow and twisting to the left. And again, from here, if it's in your practice, coming to Gomukhasana. Sitting on a block or dropping your sitting bones onto the mat between your heels. And again, engaging the core, protecting the lower spine, folding forward. From here again, coming to Dandasana. Placing a block if you're using it to one side. Both legs are engaged, pressing the back of the knees towards the mat, pressing the feet into an imaginary wall. This time again, placing your hands on the mat behind the hips, fingers facing back. Using this to fold forward with a straight spine from the hips. And from here, coming to Paschimottanasana, allowing the upper body to round, folding forward, grabbing the outside of the feet, the toes, the ankles, allowing the upper body to round forward, allowing the upper body to sink onto your thighs. If you wish, you can use this also as a hamstring stretch, using the quads to straighten out both legs, pressing the back of the knees into the mat. Coming back up to Dandasana. With control, engaging the core, we're going to come down to the mat for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, coming to a spinal twist, drawing both feet in towards the sitting bones, feet are hip width apart, arms out to figure T, allowing the knees to drop to the right, gazing over the left fingertips, both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Engaging the obliques, coming back up to center. This time allowing the knees to fall to the left, gazing over the right fingertips. Again, focusing on the breath, focusing on any physical sensations. Come back up to center and giving your knees a hug, just realign the spine. Last sequence, we're going to come to a shoulder stand. Just being careful of your neck in a shoulder stand. It's fine to place a bolster, rolled up blanket under your shoulders. This is to protect the neck. Not putting too much compression into the neck. Do this at a wall as a restorative pose. Just getting set up, so whatever feels comfortable this afternoon. We're going to come to a shoulder stand. And then we're going to come to Halasana, plow pose, and Gardha Pidanasana, which is knees to ears. So just do whichever's in your practice. It's fine if you wish to do a shoulder stand as a restorative practice by the wall. If you're tired, that's absolutely fine. Whatever your body needs this afternoon. I'll count to the breaths if you want to do the full sequence. Just do whatever feels right. It's not a competition. And when we finish the sequence, then we'll come to our final Shavasana. So if you're coming to shoulder stand, lifting up onto the shoulders, pressing with hands into the lower back, staying here for 8 breaths. We are coming to Halasana, plow pose, trying to keep the legs strong and engaged. You can press into the mat with your hands. And finally, bending the knees and pressing the knees into the ears. Come back in shoulder stand with control, one breath at a time, coming down onto the mat, preparing for your final Shavasana. In Shavasana, your legs are wide on the mat, toes dropping out to sides. The arms are also wide on the mat, palms facing up. Keeping your eyes gently closed. Bringing your focus first to the breath. Observing on the inhale, gentle rise of the abdomen. And as you exhale, feel the abdomen sinking down to the mat. Bringing your attention to the physical body. Focusing on the points of contact between your body and the mat. To come to a body scan here. So bringing your focus to both feet, focusing on any sensations in the toes, soles of the feet, the top of the feet, the heels, the ankles, calves, the knees, the thighs, and the hips. Just focusing for a moment on both legs, observing any physical sensations, and then trying to let go of any sensations in the legs. Bring your focus now to both hands, observing any sensations in the fingers, palms of the hands, the back of the hands, the wrists, the forearms, the elbows, the upper arms, the shoulders. Again, bringing your attention to both arms, focusing on all of the sensations, then letting go of these sensations. Focusing now on the pelvic region, the lumbar spine, muscles and tissues of the abdomen. Allowing everything to soften and relax. Focus on the thoracic spine, around the sides and front of the rib cage. Again, visualizing everything soften and relax. Focus on the neck, the back of the head, top of the head, the forehead, the eyes and eyelids, cheeks, the nose, the lips, maybe visualizing a soft smile on your lips. The whole head and face totally relaxed. The whole body totally relaxed, sinking.
into the mat. Bringing your attention now to Vishuddhi, the throat chakra at the base of the throat. Visualize in this region a blue light. As you inhale, sending your breath to Vishuddhi, visualizing this blue light becoming more intense. Repeating silently to yourselves these affirmations. I speak my truth in a clear and kind way. I communicate my needs. Visualize yourself now surrounded by an intense white light. As you inhale, visualize this light entering through the crown chakra and all of the chakras, filling every cell of your body with the vibrant, healing energy. With each inhale, visualize this light becoming more intense. Visualize yourselves lying in perfect stillness, sinking into the earth. Every cell of your body, every fiber of your being vibrating with this sparkling white light. Staying in this place for a few moments. Starting to bring your focus back now to the space in which we are practicing. Focusing on the breath. As you inhale, feeling the gentle rise of the abdomen. As you exhale, feel the abdomen sinking down towards the mat. To waken up the physical body, start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Make gentle circles with the wrists and ankles. Slowly rock the head from side to side. You may wish to take a deep inhale, reach your arms up overhead, getting a deep stretch from the tips of the fingers to the toes. Exhale, side out. One more nourishing inhale, and side out. Draw your knees into your chest, giving yourselves one last well-deserved hug. And in your own time, turning to the right or left side, whichever feels good. And again, in your own time, pressing your hand into the mat, coming up to any comfortable seated position. If it feels good, placing your hands in prayer. thanking yourself for taking time from your busy day to come to practice, thanking your fellow yogis and yoginis for this shared energy. And I'd like to thank you sincerely for the privilege of practicing with you this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you, guys. Thank you.